In order to start your research for your psychology assignment, you will want to use the research databases that are provided free of cost by the Lone Star College Montgomery Library. To access the databases, you will navigate to the library homepage at lonestar.edu/library. In the Start Your Research section of the homepage, the databases can be accessed from the Find Articles tab. Our databases are grouped by subject, meaning that under each subject we have listed databases that search for resources in that subject or discipline. Since you are taking a psychology class, you would want to start your search process with the databases listed under social sciences. First, you will notice that we have categorized our databases even further by type. For research in the social sciences, we have provided a list of databases to use for articles, statistics, ebooks and reference, and videos. This grouping provides you, as the researcher, with a better idea of the databases to use based on the type of information you are looking for. Let's take a look at a few databases that would be helpful as you start the research process. For example, I am writing a paper on depression and need some background information on the subject. Because I'm looking for general background information, I will want to start my search in the reference databases, which are located in the eBooks and Reference section. I will select the drop-down arrow next to eBooks and Reference and review the descriptions of the databases listed here. There are 3 reference databases listed, and I'm going to start my research with Credo Reference. There are a few types of searches that you can do in this database. The default search allows you to conduct a basic search, image search, topic search, book search, and mind map search. You do have the option to conduct an advanced search in which you have more control over search terms and phrases, as well as other search limiters like publication date and subjects. For this demonstration, I will use the basic search. I'm interested in learning more about depression, and from discussions in class, I know that another word, dysthymia, is often used. I will enter my search term dysthymia in the search box and hit enter. You will see at the top left that this search yielded roughly 128 results. You will also notice that the results are coming from a variety of different dictionaries and encyclopedias for different subject areas. For example, there is an entry from the Encyclopedia of Women's Health, the Concise Corsini Encyclopedia of Psychology and Behavioral Science, and the Dictionary of Medical Terms. On the left side of the search results page, you have several different ways in which you can filter your search results. The most common filters would include subject, where we might want to show results from only psychology resources, media type, and date range. Let's take a look at the first record on this filtered search list. You can read some general background information on dysthymic disorder. If you decide to use this entry in your research, there are a few tools that you can use. You'll notice at the top right side of the screen there are a few symbols. The quotation symbol allows you to obtain the citation entry for your reference page. Let's look at the APA citation for this entry. From here you can select and copy the citation and then paste it into your reference list. The paper with the arrow symbol allows you to download the PDF for this resource or to export it to your Google Drive. The envelope symbol allows you to export this resource in additional ways, such as by email, saving the file, etc. You will also see related articles in a column on the right side. Again, Credo Reference is a great database to use when you need some background information on a topic. Just a reminder that the information you get in reference databases is not considered research. Reference works only provide background information and an introduction to the topic. You'll use this background information to move into research databases for your next step. After doing some background research on the topic of dysthymia, I've decided that I want to focus my research on different treatment options for dysthymia. I saw examples of different treatment options for dysthymia in Credo Reference, but now I want to see what research has been conducted on some of those treatment methods. I will need to navigate back to the research database list for social sciences and click the drop-down arrow to see the databases I can search for articles. There are several article databases listed, and I can review the descriptions to determine which database I would like to start with. In this case, I'm going to start with Academic Search Complete, the most comprehensive database that the library provides access to. As I open up Academic Search Complete, I notice that I have a lot of options when it comes to controlling my search from the database homepage. The homepage defaults to the basic search, but you can also click on Advanced Search for additional search options. Since I am just starting my search for articles, I'm going to use the basic search and will enter my search terms in the search box. It looks like my search yielded about 80 different articles. From this screen, I also have a lot of options to refine my search results. Some of the most common limiters you'll use are under the Limit To box. Here we can tell the database to only show us results that we have full text access to, meaning that you can immediately read and download the article. We can also tell the database that we only want results from scholarly, peer-reviewed journals because we are looking for research articles, and this database will oftentimes also have a few results from magazines or newspapers. This is the common expectation when you are doing research in the field of psychology, but you can always check with your professor if you are unsure. Lastly, in the Limit To box, we can tell the database to give us articles published at a certain time. For example, I'm interested in articles published in the last 10 years, so I can either use the slide bar to change the publication date, or I can type the years in the box. Now that we've done some basic limiting for our search results, you'll see in the left sidebar that we have other options for limiting our search results. Two limiters that I would also like to point out are subject and subject thesaurus term. You are able to further limit your results list by selecting the terms that match what type of information you are looking for. So we've limited our results down to about 15 articles that will potentially work for your research paper. Let's take a look at one of the articles in our results list. I'm going to look at the record for the article Dysthymia and Apathy, Diagnosis and Treatment. When I open the record, I immediately notice the abstract for this article. The abstract is a summary of what the article is about and can be very useful in determining whether or not the article is going to provide valuable information for your topic. Another thing I notice is that this record lists several linked subject terms that pertain to what is covered in the article. These subject terms can be very helpful in identifying additional search terms that pertain to my topic. You'll notice that these terms are hyperlinks that will allow you to quickly search for articles on that same subject in the database. I also can see that I am able to download the PDF full text of the article from the left-hand sidebar. In the right-hand sidebar, there are several tools that I want to point out. You can see that you can easily print, email, and save this article from this page. This database, like many of our databases, has a citation tool built in. Just click on Cite and then scroll down to the citation style you need. In this case, we will be using APA, so I can copy and paste the citation for this article into my reference page. Anytime you copy a citation from a database, you should double check the citation against that particular citation style rules to make sure everything is correct. You will often need to search multiple databases to find the information you need. If you are having trouble selecting databases for your topic, navigating within that database, or more generally finding resources, you can get help from a librarian.